All right, hey there, everyone. Welcome back. This week's episode of the Advanced Clarinet um, music lessons here on YouTube. Sorry, getting set up here. Today we're going to be going over our book songs, our concert music that's going to be out of our book, because we, normally under normal circumstances, would be able to put on a year-end concert in the school auditorium, and weeks before our concert we would have classes dedicated to rehearsing the concert music. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here, the same way. We're going to put this concert music together and have you guys submit videos of yourselves playing the couple of required pieces of music. In addition, you can submit anything that you're working on that you want to show off. If you're working on virtual music with some of your classmates, then you guys can put something together and put it in the concert. That would be fun. So you're not limited to just the music that we're playing here out of the book. You can submit anything for the concert. But we do need these couple of songs from everybody in order to put on a really good concert. So today we're going to be going over those two songs again, the Canon in B flat or concert B flat, or Canon in C for clarinets, and America, which is in concert E flat or clarinet F. So we're going to do those two scales to warm up, and then I have the recordings for each of these so we can talk about how they're going to, how you can play along with the play along tracks at home and then record yourselves. So first things first, let's go ahead and get warmed up. Okay, I haven't played my clarinet much today, so we can play a couple notes to warm up, and then we'll play a concert B flat scale. I'll have my handy dandy metronome here. There we go. If it's not loud enough, you guys can let me know in the comments if you're watching. If the metronome needs to be louder, let me know. All right, here we go. Concert B flat scale, clarinet C scale. Let's do half notes on each note. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. Nice. We always play the scales ascending and descending, by the way. So if you guys are tuning in, that's the same way we've been playing them all year. So that's a good habit to form. If the scales are becoming a little redundant and you guys are a little bored with playing them, one thing you can do to spice it up is play them a little bit faster. So we could keep the same tempo and play it as quarter notes. You can also play as eighth notes or try and speed it up and play faster quarter notes. But here's what eighth notes would sound like. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2. Ready, play. Okay. Another thing you can do is use the scale to make up your own patterns. So one really popular pattern that most people like to play when they do the scales is alternating. So you alternate by skipping one note and then coming back to it. So instead of going first note, second note, third note, fourth note, we can skip around and go first note, third note, and then back to the second note, skip the third note, go to the fourth note. So we're doing kind of an alternating jumping jack sort of pattern. That sounds like this. Awesome. So you do actually add one extra note at the end of that scale too to make the pattern work. Anything you guys can think of. You can even do all the odd numbers of the scale, so 1, 3, 5, 7, and then all of the even numbers, 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's a fun little pattern too to see if you guys really know your scales. You can try different patterns. Okay, great. The other scale is our concert E flat scale, so our F, clarinet F scale. Half notes again. 1, 2, ready, play. We can do that one in quarter notes as well. If you know it really well, quarter notes will be a challenge. Here we go, quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, and play. And there you have it. So we need both of those scales for our music that we're going to be working on for the concert. Let me pull up the first one. You guys know these already. We've worked on them for a couple weeks now. Canon in C. It's a round. Last week we played this one. We played this one in unison, where you guys played along with me at the same time. And then I also did one where you let me get one line ahead, and we sort of played a virtual round, okay? But in the description of the video, you're going to see a Google Drive folder that has these play-along tracks and the PDFs that I have pulled up here on screen. If I press the play-along track, let's just listen to a little bit of it. It's actually in a round using some of the instruments of the woodwinds. So we're gonna listen to what happens here. It starts with a piano playing the first line, and then when the piano goes to line 2, the flutes come in. And then when the flutes get to line 2, piano's on line 3. I believe clarinet comes in, and then saxophone is the fourth one to come in. So let's listen just a little bit to canon and see how it's supposed to sound when all of those voices get in. Okay. You'll hear 4 clicks. 2, 3, beginning. So this is line 1. And the clicks in the background help you line up and get all the half notes. Now piano goes to line 2, and flutes come in on line 1. So now they're each going to go down, and then clarinets are on line 1. Now the saxophones are at line 1. So what's happening here is everybody's in at the very beginning of each line. Saxophones are on line 1, clarinets are at line 2, flutes are on line 3, and the piano is on line 4. So everybody's playing one of those lines at the exact same time. There's half notes happening at the same time as quarter notes. It makes a really, really cool melody and harmony counterpoint. So that's the idea with canon. We're going to try it together by letting the accompaniment part get one line ahead. So the piano part is going to get one line ahead. Then we're going to join in on line 2 when the flutes come in. And then you guys are going to hear the rest of the parts coming in. So it's a really good challenge to see if you guys can stay on track. Now, it's worth mentioning too that the piano, the very first person, whoever comes in first, has to play the most music. So they get to the end and they hit the repeat sign, they go all the way back to the beginning and have to do the whole thing again. The music is over when that player gets to the very last note, which is right after the repeat sign. Here, see that very last note I just highlighted for you guys. Each of the lines has 4 measures in it. So line 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4 measures. Line 2 has 1, 2, 3, 4 measures. Line 3 has 1, 2, 3, 4 measures, and line 4 has 1, 2, 3, 4 measures. If I would choose to rewrite this, I would put that very last note on another line so that everything looks like it lines up. When the piano repeats and plays the whole thing again, their repeat is broken now, and they can go through to the next measure, which is actually the very next measure for everybody. So for instance, when the piano gets to line 4, where they're playing line 4, you guys remember I said flutes are on line 3, clarinets are on line 2, and saxophones are on line 1. And when each of those players gets to the end of their line, then they have to go to the very next measure. So for the piano, it's right there. It's the very next measure, the very last note. For everybody else, they got to go to the next line and play the first note of that line. Okay? So clarinets, here's a little quiz. If you're watching and you're logged into the chat feature, you can log on and say hi. But here's your quiz question, where if we are the second players to join in, so the piano's the first player, the second player is us, the clarinet. We're about to play it with the flute. What is our very last note? Which note out of the entire piece is our very last note that we play with the piano when they get to the very end and we do the cutoff together? What's our note? If you guys take a quick second and read through, think about the piano being on line 2 when we're on line 1, so they're one line ahead of us. So what does that mean? Where are we going to end as the players who come in second? Are we going to end here at the first note of line 1? Are we going to end here, the first note of line 2, the first note of line 3, or the first note of line 4? Well, as I'm waiting for anyone to chime in really quickly, I'm going to at least eliminate the wrong answer, which is line 1 is the absolute wrong answer because nobody ends there. Okay? Every one of the parts would have completed line 1, including the saxophones who come in fourth. They play line 1 when the piano is playing line 4, so that means that they end on the very next line, which is line 2. Okay? So there's actually nobody playing the first note of line 1 when we end. That means it's our choice. Sorry, not our choice. It's up to us as the players coming in second to realize that we are one line behind the piano. So the piano ends here. We're actually going to end right there. Let me change. Oops. I don't think I can change the color of this. I can, but it'll take too much time. So that's where we end clarinets. We're going to end on that C over the break. If we come in second, that's where we're going to hold our very last note with the piano. Let's give it a try. I'll try and talk us through as we're playing. But let me give you the backing track with the clicks. Okay, listen carefully. There's 4 clicks and the piano comes in. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, piano. And then let's get ready to try line 1. Ready? Line 1, 2, ready, play. guys heard, that very last note I held, and I gave you sort of a cutoff nod with the clarinet. You can feel free to replay that video and wait for my playing to get to the third line, or sorry, to get to the second line, and you guys come in on line 1. That'll be a 3-part round where the piano's on line 3, you'll hear me playing clarinet on line 2, and you'll be on line 1. So it's really helpful to give that a try and figure out where everybody ends. If we're all playing the first note of the very next line when we take that repeat, it's gonna line up with a very nice chord, and the whole thing will sound really cool. So if you have any questions about canon, please let me know in the comments or in the live chat, and I can address them. It's a little complicated to talk about, but it's actually pretty simple. The more you try it and play along with the recording, it makes a lot more sense. Let's try America. So now I have a recording of America that has both harmony and melody at the same time. And if you guys remember from last week when I talked about the harmony and the melody, there's a couple points where it's not the same rhythm. Okay, a lot of times harmonies are created when we use different rhythms, and it changes sort of the harmonic and rhythmic structure at the same time. So there are 2 distinct places where that happens in America. If you look at measure 3, line 3, measure 1, you guys see that's the main one where it actually changes the rhythm. So in the melody part, you have a quarter note followed by 2 pairs of 8th notes. But in the harmony part, it's 2 quarter notes followed by 1 pair of 8th notes. The same total amount of notes, but at the same time, in the melody part, there's 2 8th notes happening. The harmony stays on a quarter note. So for the harmony people, they're going to hear changing notes in the other part. They have to be really, really sure that their note lasts for a full quarter note. Otherwise, it'll get off and be in the wrong spot. Measure 3 has the same rhythm, but the notes don't change as does the melody part. So for instance, the melody part, measure 3, it goes A, B flat. However, in the harmony part, just stays on an F the entire time. So that's a really cool part where it's creating one harmony, and then the melody is creating more distance between the harmony part, and it creates sort of a different melody, different harmony. Whereas if they were moving in the same motion, it would be what we call thirds, where each note is a third apart. In this case, it's moving third, up to a fourth apart. The harmony part stays the same. It's a really cool sound. You guys will hear it too. That happens again a couple measures later. You can see the harmony part goes D, C, C, C. And the melody part's going G, F, E, F. So it's a really cool harmony part, and you know the way it lays out. It is a little strange though. If you're hearing it for the first time, you're thinking, hey, am I supposed to be changing notes? Because the other part is changing notes. However, mine is are all the same notes. So just be really confident in your part, and I'd love for you guys to record yourselves playing both the melody and the harmony separately. But if you want to pick one, just pick your favorite. Which one do you like better? Which one is more fun for you to play? Do you prefer playing the melody? Do you prefer playing lower notes and playing the harmony? Whatever is your choice, that's totally fine. I'm sure we'll have enough of each part coming through when the videos are submitted. Okay, so let's try it with the recording. You guys are going to hear 3 beats of click, and that's going to happen twice. So you'll hear 6 clicks, which is 2 full measures of an introduction. And just listen really carefully to the click because it's a lot softer than the track. 3, 4, 5. this one goes by pretty fast. If you're not prepared for it, try rehearsing it a couple times with the video to see where the entrance is. And the backing tracks again are in that Google Drive folder just below the video. Now let's give it a try on the harmony part. And remember that the backing track is playing both of those parts at the same time. Here we go. 2, 3, ready, set, go. And the really cool thing I like about this duet is they end on the very same note. So the entire time you're playing this duet, we're playing in harmony. However, the very last note, we kind of come back and play it in unison, which is really cool, especially when that last note is perfectly in tune and the F sounds the same throughout the entire instrument, throughout the entire group. It's a really unique thing that happens when everybody plays the same note in tune. It sounds like one instrument's playing. So it's pretty cool, and I hope you guys enjoy this duet. And since there's been no comments, I'm assuming that you guys are doing really well with this. And if you have any questions whatsoever, let me know in the live chat or in the comments section, or send us an email, homework@theorchestraplace.com. For the more advanced kids, if you guys are playing more advanced honors orchestra music, we will have some additional music coming your way. So look out for that. We're doing Jupiter by Gustav Holst. It's a really pretty lyrical part, and it requires clarinets in particular to use a big portion of your clarinet range. So we've got to play low notes all the way up to some of our highest notes on the clarinet. And I think a lot of you guys know how to do that, so it'll be really, really nice. That one's also in 3 beats per measure, in E flat as well. So the same key as America, and the same time signature. There's also the Harry Potter music, so that's going to be available in a Google Drive folder. And if you want to give it a challenge, you can play along with Viva la Vida by Coldplay. Some of our schools have been working on that, but if you want an additional challenge, you can learn how to play that as well. There's music available for that too. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next Thursday, same time. And if you want to join us tomorrow, which is Friday, May 1st, we have just every Friday we've been doing Disney music and movie music and learning how to compose your own music. And the composition class is really fun. I've been watching it also the last couple of weeks, so it's really fun to make your own music and then have the teacher play it for everybody. Because a lot of times you write some stuff down and you think, I don't know how that sounds. I played it on my instrument, it doesn't sound quite right. And then the teacher plays it and you're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. So hopefully you guys will join us for that video and some others on Friday as well. And without any questions, I will turn off the video for now, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.